So I got these two statues, got Vladimir Putin and Albert Einstein. They both have similar problems I want fixed. They came out of a really good printer, new printer at the library. My boy Luke made these up for me. Putin looks really good, nice fine lines, but if you look closely on his face, he's got this sort of scar. I'm not sure if that was in the original print, but I want that smoothed out. And also, mistake with the pointer there. I want these undercut points fixed. That always happens on noses, ears, and chins where it has some trouble with that. Same thing with old Einstein here. He's a bit bigger, has a bit more detail. I mean, look at those wrinkles. Those came out really good, and I want those distinguished from the 3D printer lines. He's also got some bad undercutting, especially on his chin. So see what happens there. And then there's these map lines, which aren't a big deal to me. They look actually kind of cool, but those would be nice to smooth out too. So you dump out all your stuff, and you got your parts A and B. This particular mixture is 2 parts A to 1 part B, which should be obvious from how big the A bottle is. And you've got a mixer, an applicator, and a little mixing cup. Those 3 things you're going to throw away because this stuff will cure on it and it won't be usable. The mistake I made is trying to measure by volume with A. It's too thick. You got to measure it by weight. It says you can measure by weight or volume, but you're going to want to measure by weight. It took me a while to figure this out. And squeeze it out. There you go. See, it's very thick. Part B is just kind of regular liquid. You mix it up with that popsicle stick, and you start applying it. What I was surprised with was how thick this was. I was under the impression it would be pretty thin. It talks about how you only need a little bit. It's a little bit goopy, but it thins out really nicely. This stuff isn't some kind of magical formula. It just happens to be a really good viscosity for filling in those defects just enough to not reduce overall detail. So that's the point. Went through, did both of them, gave them another once over, applied this coat here. I wasn't thinking I would have to do 2 coats. I didn't want to do 2 coats because who wants to? But 2 hours later, I came down. It was at its tacky stage. When it's tacky is when you're supposed to apply a second coat. So this is when I made the decision to do a second coat. They were looking all right, but I just wanted to be sure. So I applied that second coat. What I realized later is this stuff is clear, so you can still see those striation marks, those lines, those ridges, even though they might be covered up. So I might not have needed to do this, but they still turn out just great. So you can apply colors to these or paint them afterwards, and you won't see those lines. But since it's clear, you'll still see the shadows going in there. But yeah, here they turned out finished. It's extremely glossy coating, so they look wet, but look how smooth Vladimir Putin looks. He looks like, he almost looks like Woody from Toy Story. Like, you see, his chin looks like it might still be nubby, but if you run your finger over that, it's very smooth. Albert Einstein turned out great as well. I did have to sand down that little chunk on his chin, but it was just 3 seconds of work. It turned out great. I like this stuff. I think it's worth it. If you're willing to work with a big, complicated acetone vapor thing, you might as well just get this stuff because you have to take the same safety precautions doing this. And you can apply this to, I think it said like some ridiculous number, like 100 square feet of plastic. So yeah, that was good. This is how this stuff works. See you later.